The question is, are you working for money, or is money working for you? Hey, it's Rebecca. Thanks for joining me on the Mamalorian Way, where today I'm going to be talking about what Robert Kiyosaki refers to a lot in his work as the cash flow quadrant. Where cash comes in, how are we making our income? And in the first quadrant, we'll put a big E, and that is for employee. Somebody who has a job. And the next quadrant, self-employed, maybe small business too, is somebody who, as Kiyosaki says, owns a job. Next one is a B for big business. These people own a system and have other people working for them. And finally, there is the investor quadrant, where these people have their money work for them. Just think about distribution of people and wealth. Here we go. We have our employee, we have our self-employed, we have our big business, and we have our investor. Well, 95% of us are in the employee category. We have a job where we trade our time. It's a little clock, for money. And if we don't go to work, we don't get any money. So we're active in this. And at some point, some of us say, hey, you know what? I don't want to be an employee anymore. I'm going to go make my own business. And we become self-employed. We become our own bosses, but we also become our own workers. And we have to be active in our jobs, in our businesses, for any money to come in. We own another job. And we still have to be active in there. Other side is where things become more passive. So in a big business owner, they have a system where people are working for them, other people, and they have 95% of the wealth. 95% of the wealth instead of 95% of the people working for 5% of the wealth. It's 95% of the wealth probably owned by about 5% of the people. Now, I'm just going to do a little example. Like, what does this look like in the real world? So I teach yoga. That's one of the things I do. And I actually am an employee. I go in and I teach a class, a little yoga. Yep. Put her in tree pose. I teach one class and I get money for that class. Now, I could go and open a studio. Nice. And then I own a business where people come in, but I still have to be there, maybe teaching classes, hiring people, running the studio, where I own my own job, but I got to be there. Now, what if I were able to make a yoga system where I taught lots and lots and lots of other people how to teach the yoga that I'm teaching, and then they go off and they teach it to other people. Now I've got leverage. Where the money's coming to me even if I don't happen to be in the studio. And then what if I owned all these buildings? This is before COVID, right? And people would come to the studios, practice yoga, and have my teachers there. And if I owned the buildings, the rent from the studios would come back to me. So I could be an employee teaching one class at a time. I could own a studio where I'd still be probably working 100 hours a week, my time. I could own a system or a business, or I could own the whole thing and have passive income coming to me because I own some kind of real estate. And the biggest takeaway from this is this concept called leverage. Leverage. And leverage is when you can stop trading your time for money on a one-to-one basis, where your money can start working for you 24/7 because it's out in the world, either in a business system or in a asset that's bringing you money in. And now it's not a one-to-one. It could be, it could be 100-to-1. You work 1 hour, you get $100 back. It could be 1,000-to-1. It could be 1,000,000-to-1. One other way to think of this quadrant: employee, self-employed, big business, and investor. Employees, their major thing here is security. That makes sense. Self-employed people, major thing, independence. Big business, major thing, wealth creation. But investor, the major thing is freedom. Freedom. I'll leave that with you guys. Have a good one.